What's up YouTube, Saf here on Super Saf TV, and in this video we're going to be looking at the key differences between the iPhone 6s Plus versus the Sony Xperia Z5 Premium. So the iPhone 6s Plus was announced today alongside the 6s, and it's an incremental update from last year's model. How does it compare to Sony's offering in this form factor? Well, let's find out. So initially looking at the screen sizes, both of these have a 5.5 inch display. So very large display. It's going to be great for consuming your media. Now the iPhone 6s Plus does come with 3D touch, a form of force touch technology. So this is a pressure sensitive screen, which we'll be talking about a little bit later in this video. Now moving on to the resolution, the iPhone 6s Plus comes with 1080p resolution, so that's 1920 by 1080 full HD. Roughly about 401 ppi pixel density, which is not bad at all, and at normal viewing distance it should be fine. But when you compare this to the Z5 Premium, which has a full 4K UHD resolution, so that's 3840 by 2160, roughly about 806 ppi. The iPhone 6s Plus resolution does seem quite small because you've got way more resolution on the Z5 Premium. Now it's arguable whether you're going to be able to notice that much of a difference on such small screens, and especially at a normal viewing distance. But if you do bring those devices closer, then the Z5 Premium definitely gets the edge here. If you're going to be viewing lots of 4K content, then that should be quite nice, especially any 4K content that you capture. You're going to be able to see that pixel for pixel on your display, so that should be a nice touch. Now although both of these devices have a 5.5 inch display, the Z5 Premium actually comes in slightly smaller in terms of the height, 3.8mm, also in terms of the width, 1.9mm, so a little bit more compact in that sense, and it is 0.5mm thicker compared to the iPhone 6s Plus. It's also 12 grams lighter than the 6s Plus, so overall just a little bit more compact here, but both of these are quite large devices. Now the extra weight of the 6s Plus does go towards the build. You now have a 7000 series aluminum, so although it's a unibody and it looks pretty much the same as previous model, although this year you do have an additional color option of rose gold, it is practically the same looking device, but it has a much stronger metal, so aluminum or aluminium, whatever you want to call it, it is strengthened, and this should prevent that bend gate issue that we had last year. So it is much tougher, roughly about 60% tougher from what I'm reading. Now the Z5 Premium comes with a stainless steel frame and glass panels on the front and the back, so this does look quite premium, and it's got a mirror finish on the back, so quite reflective. That is gonna attract some fingerprints. However, you can wash those off if you want though, because it's IP68 water and dust resistant, so that's really nice. You're not gonna have any problems getting into a bit of a dip, whereas the 6s Plus does not have this feature. Now moving on to the internals, the Z5 Premium has the Snapdragon 810 chip. It's a 64-bit chip, and it's also octa-core. Now with the iPhone 6s Plus, you've got the Apple A9 chip, which is also 64-bit, but we're not sure of the gigahertz or the cores, how many cores it's got. That's not been revealed by Apple as yet. We are going to have to compare these side by side in terms of speed and performance, because on one hand you've got better optimization in terms of software without any skin, and on the other hand you've got loads of pixels that need to be pushed out, so no doubt that is going to give some sort of an effect in terms of the overall performance, because you are pushing out, I believe, 4 times as many pixels as you've got on the iPhone 6s Plus. And now in terms of RAM, you've got 3GB on the Z5 Premium. It's not been specified how much you have on the iPhone 6s Plus. We are going to have to find that out a little bit later. In terms of storage options, you've only got 32GB on the Xperia Z5 Premium, but you do have expandable storage, so you can get a micro SD card. You can expand that by up to 200GB, so a great option to have. With the iPhone 6s Plus, you have 16, 64 and 128 gig, just like last year. I'm personally a little bit disappointed. I would have liked to have seen a 32GB base model, but unfortunately that is not there this year around. Now moving on to the cameras, so the Sony Xperia Z5 Premium comes with 23 megapixels. So huge resolution here, and it's also got Sony's SteadyShot, so that should help you get some more stable shots even if you do them quickly. It's got hybrid autofocus, which is super fast, 0.03 seconds just to focus in. That's absolutely insane and should be really good. You've also got clear zoom technology, so you can zoom in up to 5 times using that resolution but without losing any detail. With the iPhone 6s Plus, you've got 12 megapixels. So this has been improved from last year, which had 8 megapixels. So there is more megapixels here, but in comparison to the 23 megapixels, it is quite low. So you're going to have the option of cropping in much further on the Z5 Premium. Quality wise, we are going to have to put these side by side to see what the real differences are. The iPhone 6s Plus also comes with live photos. So this is a feature where when you take an image, it's going to take 1.5 seconds before and after some footage, and then later on when you tap and hold on an image, then that's going to show you a little clip as well, so at very high resolution. So that's definitely nice to see, and it will be interesting to see how many people actually use that and how useful that will be. But it's definitely a nice and new interesting feature. Now with the iPhone 6s Plus, you also have optical image stabilization. You don't have optical image stabilization on the Z5 Premium. It is software stabilization. So this is something that we're going to have to see. Optical image stabilization is generally better than software stabilization, but we'll see these hands-on when both devices are out. And Apple are saying that they've got deep trench isolation technology. Now this sounds really complicated, but basically that should give you some more better and accurate colors, which we'll check out. In terms of video, both of these have 4K recording, so that's 2160p. Definitely nice to see, especially with the push on 4K that we're seeing. Lots more 4K content, so you're going to be able to film these directly on the smartphones. So a great touch. In terms of slow motion, Sony haven't specified what the slow motion is. I believe it's 720p at 120 frames a second. On the iPhone 6s Plus, you've got 720p at 240 frames a second, and you've also got 1080p at 120 frames a second. So a nice touch once again, and this should be really good if you want to capture some action and things. In terms of the front-facing cameras, you've got 5 megapixels here on both. Although you can only film at 720p from the iPhone 6s Plus camera, you can film at 1080p from the Z5 Premium front-facing camera. Now the iPhone 6s Plus also have what they're calling a Retina flash, and that's gonna brighten up the screen to give you better low-light selfies. I'm not sure if anything like this is available on the Z5 Premium. There is this feature available on the LG G4 and lots of other devices as well. In terms of the operating systems, you've got iOS 9, so the latest version of iOS on the iPhone 6s Plus. On the Z5 Premium, you've got Android Lollipop 5.1.1. That does, however, have the Sony UI on top. Now, this is going to come down to your personal preference, which one you prefer. One thing you will get is quicker updates from Apple, which is definitely a nice touch, and I do appreciate quicker updates. With the Sony Xperia Z5 Premium, you're going to have to wait for those updates to go through Sony, so you're not going to be getting them directly from Google, so just something to bear in mind. In terms of the additional features that both of these devices offer, you've got a fingerprint reader on both. On the iPhone 6s Plus, you've got it on the home button, and on the Z5 Premium, you've got it on the side. So how these work, we will have to test these out. You do have Apple Pay, however, on the iPhone 6s Plus, which should allow you to make lots of payments. With the Sony Xperia Z5, you have dual front-facing stereo speakers versus the single bottom-facing speaker on the iPhone 6s Plus. So an advantage here, you also have high-res audio and DNC support. So Sony definitely aiming for that audio market. PS4 remote play is also available on the Sony Xperia Z5 Premium. So if you've got a PlayStation 4, then you can play it remotely and connect to it and play it remotely in a different room or something with your Z5 Premium. Definitely a nice touch. With the iPhone 6s Plus, you've got Force Touch, 3D Touch is what they're calling it, and this is going to open up a lot of doors for lots of new functions. So it's a great implementation. You've got something called Peek and Pop. So for example, if you're in an email, you can simply tap on an email to get a preview for it, and if you tap in harder, then that's actually going to open it. So it's got some interesting implementations and lots of scope for this technology, and I can see it going forward on most devices. Now in terms of the batteries, the Sony Xperia Z5 Premium comes with a 3430 mAh battery, so a very large battery here. With the iPhone 6s Plus, they've not specified exactly what the size of the battery is. I'd expect it to be roughly about the same as previous year's model because it is roughly about the same size. So 2915 milliamps is roughly about what we can expect, maybe a little bit more. We're not 100% sure of that as yet, but the Z5 Premium does come with a larger battery. In terms of usage, we are going to have to test this out. You're pushing out so many more pixels on the Z5 Premium, so not sure how much of an effect that's going to have. So we are going to have to test that out. You do have Quick Charge 2.0, so that's fast charging on the Z5 Premium. You don't have fast charging on the iPhone 6s Plus. Now if you do use the iPad charger, it is going to charge it up faster. I'm not sure if this is a recommended method, but a lot of people do that, and it's not something that you get out of the box, so you're going to have to go and purchase it separately. Now, in terms of the pricing and availability, the Z5 Premium is going to be coming in November time, late October, November time. And pricing, they've got it for around about £630 for the base 32GB model on their website. Dollars wise, you're going to be looking at roughly about $750. Now, the iPhone 6s Plus has the same pricing as the 6 Plus, so you're going to be starting at roughly about £620 for the 16GB model. So, you know, similar sort of pricing here, but you are going to be getting the larger 32GB model on the Z5 Premium if you are going to be going for the base model on the iPhone 6s Plus. In terms of availability, the iPhone 6s Plus is going to be coming out on the 25th of September, and you can pre-order it from the 12th of September. So those were the key differences between both of these devices, both in this sort of 5.5-inch form factor. Which do you think is better? Do drop me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then please do hit that thumbs up button for me. It really does help me out. If you want to see more content like this, then make sure you have subscribed, because we've got plenty more coming up on here, including hands-on reviews of both of these devices. You can also catch my previous related video here in the annotations, and stay in touch with me over social media. The links will be there somewhere. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on Super Saf TV, and I'll see you next time.